back. The time is now.
Hey. Yeah. Well, I thought I was left on my own to defend the indefensible.
All right. Am I here? Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. What can we say? Instant match reaction. Don't forget to smash the like button. Become a member if you can. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the bell for notifications as we have to look at the Mackems parade and celebrate as if they won the Champions League. And they are celebrating. They're crying. Well, for what it's worth, it just shows where they're at in life compared to us. But we are not even where we're supposed to be. Nowhere near it. I'm not going to say nothing at the moment. Wayne, what's your match reaction?
Disappointment, understatement of the year. No fire in the bellies at all. Did not come into it. It didn't help that Big Dan went off. Because although I haven't, the other thing was the lineup, the setup. When we saw Langer and Gordon, we thought it was going to be high press game. It turned out to be anything but high press, sitting back, and just no fire in the belly at all from any of the players. Sunderland wanted it more, simply wanted it more, and Eddie's in-game management non-existent. Absolutely non-existent. It was apparent for all to see after 20 minutes that if the idea was to put Langer and Gordon on for high press, we were far, far better when Barnes and Murphy came on. But why it took us long to get Wisser on the pitch, and why it had to come at the expense of Walter Mata, who albeit had a poor game, but that's by the by. Not good enough. Simply not good enough, I have my work cut out, shall we say, defending Eddie on that one, because it was pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
Okay. We got a caller waiting on the line. Gary, what's your first takes on this game tonight?
Well, if Eddie and the boys are happy with that, if he comes out and says we were good in parts like he normally does, I will definitely move to the dark side, because there is no attitude, and the mentality for derby matches. That, like I said, not only was it a poor result, it was the worst derby match I have ever witnessed, regardless of the result, win, lose or draw. If they show the attitude, the mentality, the commitment to the cause, and try to get something from the game, then, you can say, yeah, the own goal was an unlucky goal. Yeah, it was an unlucky goal, but you've tried. You know what I mean? We've lost to an own goal. But there was nothing. They were spineless. They were out, completely out. How can I put it? They were still outgunned by players we'd never even heard of. These players have come from nowhere to actually rule. And it seems as though a lad who, again, another coach that we haven't really heard much of, is able to walk straight into the Premier League and play like that against us. It's as if we don't know what a derby means, and they do. Where's the commitment to the cause? Where's the passion from the players? There isn't, you talk about this Geordie pride. There was nothing there. It's as if none of them players had been spoken to by Eddie Howe and motivated to actually. They look scared. They look scared to have the ball. And when somebody's just put in there, Gary, are you still in? Like I said, I don't want to see any manager get the sack, but I don't want to see performances like that, because that to me shows complete gutless managers, coaches. Because all he wanted to do there was a draw. He played a team there to get a draw, not to go out and get a result, to get out a draw. And that ain't commitment to the cause for me. You don't go and play to get a draw. You hope to get a draw if it's going against you, which that game was going against us all day long, because the lads' mentality and approach to that game was wrong. The mentality was wrong. Got to get that right.
We got a duck in there. We're going to get to him in a minute. We got Sean from Ireland calling us now. Sean, how are you?
I'm good. Lads, not great. Like, you know, it's absolutely, that was disgusting to watch. Like, honestly, like, it's half. I said it first time I called as well. Like, I was like, if performance is good, he has to go. Like, and I said it last time as well. Like, I was like, you have to get a new manager in January. Like you cannot tell me like the likes of Glasner, Xavi, Cesc are not better managers than this guy. Like, they clearly are. Like I don't understand. Like, lads, Sunderland signed about 20 players in the summer. Like 20, like so many players. Like, and we can't get Ramsey into this. Like, we're starting Willock, lads, over Ramsey. Like, what was the point? Like, if Ramsey was going to be your sixth choice midfielder, like, why not go abroad, like, and spend less and get someone young, like, that you can nurture? Like, why would you go get a Premier League proven midfielder then this whole idea of, one Premier League proven midfielder, like, and he's your sixth choice? Like, for me, it's like his in-game management it's non-existent, lads. Like, I don't understand, like, what he's doing, like, and for me, you knew the game was going to be physical, like, you knew this game was going to be a physical game, like, and you're starting Miley. Like, I love Miley, but he's not there yet. Like, he doesn't, like, he's not that, he's not like a J7. Like, in a J7, I would have been like, all right, okay, start him there. You know, it's a physical game, like, or Ramsey, like. But for me, like, honestly, like, I'm fully out, like, with him now. Like, for me, the DOF, whoever it is, needs to go to those three managers I named, Glasner, Xavi, or Cesc, and be like, will you take the job in January or summer, like. But he has to go. Like, this is his second time. He can't manage 2 games in a week. Like, he's shown that he can't do it. Like, he was playing for a draw today, like, and he was playing for a draw against what's it called, in the Champions League, like, as well. Like, bro, Leverkusen got decimated, like, absolutely decimated in the summer. Like, when I saw that, I was like, you know what, that is a possible win for us, like. And now you see the results. Like, honestly, like, I'm absolutely done with him now. Like,
Sean, can I ask you though? You're talking about Miley there, and I understand. You know, it's difficult to name a player, but did anybody shout today? Oh, he's gone.
Oh, yeah, he dropped off there. I don't know, for some reason.
I don't think any fingers can be pointed at Miley today.
No, not at Miley. Sean is back there. You ask him the question you want to ask him.
yeah, sorry, last word, yeah.
Yeah,
sorry,
Sean.
lad,
I was going to ask you. You mentioned Miley there as being not committed to the cause, if you like, or not strong enough to the cause. But was there anybody that stood out to the cause today that wanted it more than Miley? Because even when you saw Willett come off the bench, Harvey Barnes come off the bench, Murphy come off the bench, it didn't change anything. Wissa didn't change anything. Again, you win and lose every game from midfield. You've got to control that middle of the park. And to me, the guy who I feel is going backwards in a Newcastle shirt is Tonalis. I thought he had another poor game today. And he isn't.
Yeah, you're right in that 100%. But Bruno wasn't any better. Bruno wasn't any better, man.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
something is going on, Gary, to where they're not playing.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Bruno was better. Bruno was better than Tonalis.
No, he wasn't.
Miley was the best of the three.
For me, all of them lads had a subpar performance there. Like, none of them were good enough, like, I'd say. Do you know what I mean? But, like, at least, you know, with Jason, he's going to smash into someone, like, do you know what I mean? Like, at least instill that sort of, do you know what I mean? Like, this game was always going to be physical, like, you know what I mean? Like, and for me, like, that sort of game, like, Miley, for me, is perfect in terms of if you want to control a game, like, the pace of the game, like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe bring him on the second half, like, when Jason's on a yellow or whatever, like, you know what I mean? Then bring him on, like, sort of calm down the game and play it to your pace, like, but that's the thing, like, the lads just run around, like the amount of times I see misplaced passes, it's ridiculous, like, do you know what I mean? Like honestly, we should be just doing rondo sessions like for the next week, like so we can actually make a pass successful, like under pressure. Like
tonight it was absolutely ridiculous, mate. Sean, we got a lot of people trying to call, mate. We're gonna have to let you go, but
no problem.
thank you for calling. Thank you for participating. Wonderful takes, and stay tuned. Watch the show.
Hey,
Appreciate
Sean.
it.
Yeah.
By the way, Doc said the moon £5. Thank you very much. Enough is enough. Howe needs to go. Take Gordon with him. And just out of interest,
Gordon,
on the last stream when we never got a chance to shout it out because it came in at the last minute, Queenie.
Yeah.
We got a $5 off you as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Queenie.
And Jordy Dan super chat as well. Tian says how out. David Knight as well on this one says, wasn't this a red line for one of you regarding how? We'll watch the reaction, mate. Umar calling from Newcastle. Umar, the Toon Whisperer. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm not doing so bad.
Back whispering. You came back strong the last time. Now you're back
come on,
whispering,
shout.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man. Go
just
on.
about.
It was a pathetic performance. That's all I can say.
Pathetic performance. Yeah.
Yeah. Why is he playing Waddle, mate? He's been playing every game. Why not give him a time out? Bring Britton Wisser in. Make a change.
I'm not sure that's the solution, man. I'm not sure you're pointing at the right
direction. Why not
direction.
play them both is what I say.
And you're never gonna see that. And if you don't realize that after tonight, then you're done. When you're not seeing what's in front of you, man. As Gary would say, you're not. If he's not doing tonight, when you need a goal and you need two strikers, and you're not gonna see it ever, man. You're not. Umar, where are you as far as Eddie Howe's moment? Where are you as far as Eddie Howe's status?
I think he should be gone. We need someone. I think he took it as far as he can.
From Newcastle, Wayne, by the way, you didn't know that.
Listen, every Howe out reaction today is completely, totally understandable. But no objection at all to any of them. I'm not there. But
Umar, thank you for calling, buddy. Appreciate you calling. Okay, we'll talk soon, man.
Cheers, Umar.
Cheers, Umar. There. Calling now, folks. Have your say. 0191-916-8864. This is a channel for the fans, so you can call and have your say. Everyone that supports the black and white can call in now and have their say. Duck, what's your take on the game, bro? I'm talking to Duck here.
Good evening, gents. Hope everybody's
Good
well.
evening, mate.
Hi. Nothing to worry about, Chris. We are sensational. We're doing better than we were last season, and we're going to go on an unbeaten 10-game run. So I don't know why everybody's crying, to be honest with you.
You're out your mind, man.
Absolutely shambolic. So on a serious note, absolutely gutless, spineless, no leadership, and I don't know how the happy clappers can actually justify this performance. We have been talking about this. Chris has been talking about this performance after performance after performance. And Eddie Howe was talking the big talk before the match that I get the club, I know how to inspire these players. And there's no justification for that gutless performance. And what is he doing on the sidelines? The fact that Gordon started in front of Barnes is an absolute criminal. And Wynn was trying to justify, Gordon runs around like a headless chicken and he presses. If you imagine Barnes has been one of our most consistent players this season. And it's absolutely shocking. And the thing is, like Chris, you said, that when we need a goal, he takes off Walter and puts on Wissa. Why are you not playing with two strikers up front?
I don't know.
He has to go. This is Newcastle United, not Eddie Howe FC. Anybody who wants to support Eddie Howe FC can go with him. He needs
Newcastle United, not Newcastle divided.
Well, I'm sorry, Wayne. A lot of decisions right now is dividing the fan base, man. Richie,
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, I'm shouting, but I'm absolutely.
No, you're not shouting. You're not shouting, man. You haven't been watching. You haven't been watching the channel, man.
He's entitled to shout. He's entitled to.
We got Richie Tunat miles away from.
At the end of.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris. At the end of the day, we love the club, and we want us to do well. This is criminal what's happened today. I mean, if we had tried at least and we'd lost, then you could justify that. But there was the body language was terrible. Did anybody actually care about that match on the pitch?
It
and
didn't
people
seem
keep
like
saying
it.
Miley was average. Granit Xhaka schooled Miley today. How much was Granit Xhaka? How much did Sunderland pay for him?
Granit
Granit
Xhaka did very little today.
No, man, no, he didn't.
Come
no,
on,
he
man.
didn't.
He was
He
controlling
controlled the midfield.
He controlled the tempo of the game, man. Control the tempo of the game. And I told you we should have signed him in the transfer window. And
It was
you
the
said
perfect six.
Exactly. We paid
Richie.
40
We gotta go to
million for
Richie.
Ramsey.
We gotta go to Richie because he lives few miles away from St. James's Park. Richie, Toon Nuts, welcome, bud. What do you got to say?
Hello, mate. As soon as I seen Elanga, I was on the blinking starting lineup. I thought, what's he doing? And then Noah Barnes, I thought again, what's he doing? Yeah. It was embarrassing the day. Like, it was really shocking. And why doesn't he make subs before? Like, why didn't he bring a sub on? Like, you could see Elanga wasn't doing it in the first half an hour. Just bring a sub on then, for God's sake.
I agree.
What is? Are you still on the fence or happy clapping, Richie?
I can definitely see where people say get rid of Howe. I can't, but I'm still not there yet. I'm not arguing with anyone that says it now. I'm not. I think feelings are really high at the minute because we got beat off our local rivals. So maybe tomorrow people might not be as bad on it, but
that's when it's going to even.
He hasn't got long left. To be fair, he really hasn't. Sorry, what were you saying?
That's what's going to be worse when you get to work. As soon as you get to work, you better believe it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Twice over.
It is.
It's criminal, man. Gary, you wanted to say something to Nut?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, but you're absolutely bang on. Literally early substitutions was required. You could see Elanga was, completely toothless. And that toe poke got me. He was like, "What are you trying to do? You're not even committing yourself to a challenge there." It was just, "I don't want it," handbags type of thing, and toe poke it away. Luckily, it went to a blue shirt, but there was no commitment. And to be fair, I want to ask you boys, because I still didn't see any reaction, even when we made the substitutions. It was late in the day. I understand that. But do you think now, and I know you're very much on the Eddie inside at the minute, Richie, but do you not think now the lads aren't playing for Eddie Howe? Because to me, that wasn't a game where they're not showing a commitment to the shirt today.
Yeah, there's definitely been a drop in form out of them, haven't there? Like, all the main players who will look to push for forward, just none of them are like at the races, are there? None of them. It's really hard
absolutely.
to I'm struggling to defend. I'm really struggling to defend Eddie as much as you know how much I like him. But my God, there's some things I can't defend him on. I just can't. He's like I say, substitutions. Why does he take so long? And why does he start with the wrong players as well? Like I can't defend him on. But I like the way a lot of the players he's brought in, with the exception of Elanga, he's done brilliant. That side of things, he's done really well. So I like him for that reason, but his tactics is questionable. It really is.
I still can't understand how you can get a team that have literally come together for the first time in a Premier League, which is what the Mackhams have got. They've gone out there and pulled all these names in. And yet you look at them as if they played together for the last 10 years. The way they move, support each other. We didn't get none of that today.
The way they play for this derby, we thought, a lot of our players haven't been at the derby, a few. And actually a few have, like Gordon, like all of them. None of them have played derby before. None of them. I think Ballard was the only one, and a few other maybe. And they weren't any bothered. So Richie, last thoughts, man. We got other people calling.
Last thoughts was, why the hell didn't he bring Wissa on far earlier? We're desperate to score. You need the both of your forwards on, for God's sake. What was the delay? I didn't get it. But anyway, I'll leave it at that, lads, because I'm upset myself.
Thank you, Richie. Appreciate you. Call us again.
Richie.
Rich.
Call us now, folks. Have yourself a lot of people trying to call if you saw this, man. Well, that's it's the same thing when you at the Thai clubs, the Thai girls, they call you, man, nonstop. Like that's the same thing, man. I'm seeing like all the phone calls right now they're trying to get in touch. Jordan now calling us from Newcastle. Jordan, how are you, brother?
Absolutely devastated.
Yeah, to say the least.
I mean, that one has made my decision.
It's over for you,
About
isn't it?
how I think it's time for people to actually realise what is going on in this Newcastle team. Even the substitutions, why wait until the second half? I mean, look, I've got a question for Win, actually.
Go on.
You got affection for Win? There you go.
Well, everybody who's on, to be honest. What did everybody think of Alanga today?
Well, anybody
same
with
thing I
eyes
thought of
can
Alanga.
see Alanga was as good as Amano.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Should have been
criminal, man.
replaced
See?
after half an hour.
Yeah, most definitely. I
But he
mean,
doesn't take
like,
him off at halftime, man. I just
the
don't
first,
believe it.
the first 10 minutes, I thought, well, we could get something out of this. And then when Nick scored that one goal, I was like, right. Okay, I think it's time for the subs now.
He takes forever.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
I
cheers,
think-
Gordon. Jordan.
Jordan.
I think now is Eddie
Yes,
Howe out right this second.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right, Gordon. Thank you very much for calling, man. Appreciate it. And well, I don't know if we're gonna be talking
I'd love to be in the stadium right now.
I'd love to be in the dressing room, mate, not the stadium.
No, I'd
stadium,
love to be. I'd love to know what they
See you
because
later, Gordon.
presumably the team would have went to the away supporters as usual, and I'd love to know what the reaction was then.
They did this. They did a little applaud. I'm not sure what it was. I mean, I could have just turned the volume up.
Was there any you don't know what you're doing?
I wasn't even paying attention. I don't know. I can't lie to you. All I'm seeing is just Macam everywhere, and it's like it's like somebody dropped a loaf of bread on the floor and all the seagulls flocking around to go get it. It seems like it's unbelievable right now. The feeling, I'm telling you, man, it's devastating. If you're a Newcastle United fan, call right now, 0191-916-8864. A lot of people trying to call. A lot of people trying to have their say. I mean, but where do we go from here, man? Thank you for the super chat. LEDC 5000. Can we even quantify how bad Ilanga is? I mean, Ilanga didn't do good, man. Ilanga didn't do good at all. And I don't know, man. And he put us on the social media, I knew I had a purpose before you had an opinion, which could be a little dig at people criticizing him. But, man, you got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, look, I'm knackered right now, man. I shouldn't be antagonizing anything because at this moment in time, you are knackered if you're Ilanga. We got Yinks on the phone line. Yinks calling from the Midlands. Yinks, mate, how are you?
Man.
Big Yinks, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fresh from the dark side. I listened. It's sad what we saw, but it was inevitable. It was inevitable. At the end of the day, this was we saw this from our pre-season games. The inability to attack, the staleness in our attack, and also the loss of our quote-unquote identity. I don't know, but the only thing I can put it down to personally is just the management of the squad by the manager first and foremost. I believe the environment within itself, due to his quote-unquote favoritisms, due to his favourites anyway, it's created a stale environment whereby a lot of players know that regardless of what they do, play well or play well anyway, they may not start the next game. And yeah, Eddie Howe's created this environment. This is what he did at Bournemouth as well, whereby he had particular individuals that he only trusted, and only when things go bad, and that's when he goes to plan B. But I think today what we saw was a team that was heavily invested in. A lot of resources went into it. However, we looked like we were relegation football. We were disgusting and disgraceful. Elanga and Gordon, and I'll say, let me go for it. Elanga was horrendous. He should have been taken off at halftime or even earlier. Gordon, the same. He was even worse. To me, he was even worse because he was at fault for the first goal. And how do you expect a team of 11 to do well where both wingers are so shit, even defensively? Livramento wasn't great. Hall wasn't the best in any way, shape, or form. And we saw Sunderland have the ability to cross the ball on multiple different times into the box. We couldn't do that until we brought on Barnes and Murphy. And to be fair, it wasn't really them that was crossing the ball. We saw Sunderland bring on players who could take on their wing back. We never saw that once from our wing backs. When they got the ball on their feet, they couldn't do shiznai. And it's disheartening to think that we spent how much and how much they spent. Again, when you have to take accountability for this, when we were all getting on to pertain to Mitchell leaving, and that was Eddie Howe's move, that was when that was the beginning of the end. That was when Eddie Howe signed his chapter at Newcastle.
One thing that needs to be questioned, Yinks, to your point, is that people here, Mighty Win included, defending Eddie Howe, has come on here and said he makes players better. Well, I'm sorry, but this season he ain't made out better at all.
But to be fair, I do understand that perspective because we saw him do that with certain players. But our issue is the favoritism, which has now led to issues in the team, in my humble opinion, because it's destroyed the chemistry of the you can see that a lot of them were scared playing. Elanga was scared. Even Gordon was fearful to a degree. From goalkeeper on up, there was a lot of fear amongst us, and we're a Premiership team that has been most of those players have been playing the Premiership for 2 to 3 years plus. So essentially, there's something wrong in the midst of the squad within itself, and I believe it's actually due to the favourites aspect to it. And also, we squandered nearly 130 million on Elanga and Ramsey. We literally made our rivals better financially in order for us to build this particular team that don't look like they can string 2 passes together. It's scary. Like right now, if things don't change, then we are looking at the possibility of fighting the relegation battle. We're not far from it, and we shouldn't think we're better than that. We just lost to Sunderland 1-0, and we couldn't shoot on target. It's scary. And we're in the Champions League. A lot of these players are holding our squad for ransom. They're getting paid way too much for what they offer. Sunderland just showed us this.
Yeah.
So should we wait until we lose another 2 to 3 games prior to doing the inevitable? Eddie Howe has shown that he's not capable to be a Champions League manager and also focus on the Premiership at the same time.
Maybe at the same time, yeah, that's something to think about. Yinks, thank you very much for calling us, brother. Appreciate it.
No worries.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Peace. That's Yinks right there having to say, Tony T, Super Chat, this is the result of only buying runners rather than skilled players. When you're playing 2-3 games a week, skill always shows, energy will drop. I agree 100%, but buy-in is one thing. You got a thinker. You got a player there in Harvey Barnes, and you didn't put him on. That's a deliberate decision that turned out not to be a good one. We got another Super Chat before that. You know why it says, now you're upset? We play much worse than that. And we've been telling Mighty Win, and Win hasn't really. He's been avoided the whole facing the music really. But we got a new caller here calling us now, trying to have their say. How are you? Welcome.
How you, mate? It's Tim.
Oh, Timmy boy. Oh, Timmy,
that's
man.
Shambolic.
Oh, that was shambolic, man. That's.
I mean, that was shambolic.
Timmy boy, what do you think, man? It's what do you make of this whole situation?
I just want to say my piece on that, and I think Big Yinks basically took the words out of my mouth in terms of one particular word that he used, okay? And that I was going to emphasise, and that's the word stale. And that word was ringing out to me when I was watching that, especially second half. There was a real staleness there, and a lack of kind of determination in a way, a lack of courage on the ball. As well as off the ball in terms of physical duels. And, I think first half, look, we calmed the game down a bit. I wasn't too fussed in a way, and I was kind of just calming the game down, playing some passes. But obviously when we actually went forward, there was no cutting edge. There was no quality. Obviously Anthony Gordon, it was his big chance that he got the nod, and he's running the ball out of play when he gets in the final third. And it's a case of second half, okay, it's 0-0. It's a game of chess in a way, and the second half kicks off, and what that is from Voldemort. I know all these things can happen. I get it, but it wasn't great from him for that. And from then on, I thought the players were shell shocked, and like some have said, for all Eddie Howe's words before the game, that performance was not reflective of a group of players who really, really wanted it. And really kind of were bought in. Maybe they're bought in, before the game, but when it comes about and it gets the nitty gritty, I think it was too much for them. And what does that say about, you know, the whole setup at the moment? And again, I would say the word stale comes to mind, unfortunately. And I love Eddie Howe for what he's done for us. But I think there should be some questions asked around the lack of competitiveness and the lack of attacking threats in that game.
Yeah, well, I mean, spot on, man, spot on. Are you
absolutely spot on?
Sorry, Tim.
Are you,
Sorry, Chris. Tim, in the show, I think I mentioned that actions speak louder than words. I think you were mentioning that Eddie Howe said he gets there and he gets there. So my concern is that why is that not translating onto the pitch, Tim? And I think we've regressed tactically and also in terms of skill set. Each player looks a shadow of themselves.
Yeah, I agree. And there was a lack of dynamism in terms of going forward to change the game. And you talk about tactics and stuff. And obviously, it's not all about tactics. It's about the belief. But there was a lack of ideas, I think, from unfortunately Eddie Howe there second half. And like some have said, you're taking Voldemort off. I mean, he did not have a good game one bit, that's for sure. I don't care kind of what style of player you are. In that particular game in isolation, you adapt to the conditions and you make it difficult for the opposition. And he did not do that. But at the same time, maybe you could have brought Wissa on to play with him and to ask a different question of Sunderland. And like you say, you take some off and it's like for like, so there's no real tactical difference there.
Not a difference.
And like you say, 1,000 words.
Because Wissa was alone there as well, man. He was alone. He was just running after a ball, trying to poke a ball, and nothing changed whatsoever. Tim, before we let you go, where are you right now as far as Eddie Howe?
You got yours number maybe, but no, I think. Well, look, I'm not massively surprised by this in terms of we saw the warning signs, the types of goals we were conceding. The lack of application was there. So it shouldn't be a massive surprise that we kind of saw limp in this game. And I think with Eddie Howe, like I said, there's a real doubt now because there's a massive staleness there. I love Ariola as a manager, even though he's not doing amazing the last few games for Bournemouth, but I think that could be a transition that could potentially work.
So you are out then? Just for Wayne, because he says I put words in people's mouths. So just because Wayne is going to twist your words to fit his narrative. So
look. If you said to me, Ariola wants to come to Newcastle, right now, he's ready. And I know he's not everyone's choice. I get that. It's just my own personal view. Then I think I would do that swap, but I would take Ariola. I'm not saying I would sack Eddie Howe now and then go right. Okay, who's in? Because you can sack a manager, and if you don't get the right man in, then it all goes to pot. So I think I'm not saying sack him and see what happens. I'm just saying I've got my eye on one particular person, and if he's up for it.
By the way, we got breaking. Tim, thank you very much, mate. Appreciate you for calling, brother. Appreciate you. Great pre-match show, by the way. Great stuff from Tim. Thank you very much, buddy. Breaking news from Keith Downey. Dan Byrne was taken to the hospital in an ambulance with a rib injury suffered in the derby. So we'll see. He was taken off. I guarantee you he broke his ribs, man. I guarantee you he broke his ribs. And that's all we're going to knock us. And I believe now, by watching the game, that we did. And I said it after. I think we're going to suffer with him out and Shar in. I'm not going to specifically blame Shar on anything in particular. However, I think we lost somebody. We needed leaders as well, aside from everything else. We needed leaders. Unfortunately, in my opinion, Bruno Guimaraes is not a captain and doesn't know how to rile his teammates up. He didn't do a good job. I think Byrne would have done something. You needed everything. You needed something. And definitely this team was toothless on all levels. Call us now, 0191-916-8864. This is Eddie Howe after the game.
Painful than others.
Yeah, they are. That's a really tough one for everyone connected with the club. We feel desperately sorry for our supporters today. We didn't play our best game. It was a tough game. It was a game of really few chances for both teams. Yeah, we had our moments and spells of pressure, but couldn't really break them down and create the chances that we wanted to.
It felt like today was maybe Sunderland's cup final. Do you think they won the physical battle today?
Yeah, I don't know. There's a temptation to say that because we've lost the game. I thought we stood up physically well. I don't see a massive issue there. I thought we defended set plays pretty well, apart from the one that we conceded, which was the second phase long throw. as I say, a game of few chances. It was going to be probably decided on one moment. That one moment's gone against us. I thought we chased the game pretty well. We had control, but we just couldn't force that opening that we needed.
They went 1-0 up without having a shot on target. It was that kind of game. It was a bit freakish.
Yeah, obviously I didn't know that at the time. I think, as I say, at half-time we were relatively pleased. We wanted to come out a lot more front foot in the second half, a lot more aggressive. That was our plan, but the goals sort of happened before we were able to get to grips with it.
How's Dan Burn? That looks a nasty one.
Yeah, Dan, it's very unlike Dan to come off. I mean, he was obviously in a lot of pain. He's gone to hospital for a check on his ribs, I think.
Were you happy that with the yellow card there? Was that okay for that?
I don't know. I'd need to see it again.
How important now to get the message across to your players that this is a painful defeat, but it's just one game and there's still a long way to go, including, of course, the Cup quarter-final on Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, we've had so many games and we have so many games to come that nothing's decided on today. We're really disappointed that we haven't got more for our supporters and for all the obvious reasons. But yeah, we've got to bounce back on Wednesday.
Yeah. That was Eddie Howe there, ladies and gents, and he seems knackered, man. He seems knackered for real. You would assume in this particular case where he's lost a derby, but I'm starting to see that he's lost. He's lost. I'm starting to see that. There's a super chat there from the dark side of the moon that says, "Wasn't a tough game. We were just bad." Says dark side of the moon. I think, folks, I have to say, I think Eddie Howe needs to be sacked.
That's it twice. Thank you, dark side.
Thank you, man. And Eddie Howe needs to be sacked. I'm fully now convinced that I don't think Eddie Howe can take you any farther. I don't think. I mean, many chances, and I say this with regret, by the way, because I don't think sacking a manager is something to be joyous about. But I don't think he can take Newcastle any farther. I don't think the players are playing for him. I don't. And when that happens, I don't think there's any going back. I think you cannot go back. You can't convince them. He's not able to convince them at all. I mean, this is not about tonight. This is about many, many games this season. I don't think he has time to turn things around. I don't think he has time to get it done. So unfortunately, you know, I'm Eddie out. I don't think he can take the team forward anymore. And it's just too painful, man. Too painful of a game, man. Too painful. It's not about you losing, Gary. It's not about you just lost, and you know what? You take a loss. But man, this team on the pitch, they're not playing for him, man. They're not playing.
Where were you in control of it, though, Chris? That's what I said when he come out and said we were in control of it, and I'm like, where? Where were you in control of that? When they went 1-0 up, they could just sit back and say, try and break us down. And we just haven't got the players to break them down. We've not had the players to break them down all season long. Any team, regardless of who we're playing. I mean, even the lowest of the low, if you think about it, we are just beating the likes of the Wolves 1-0, Burnley 2-1. You know, we're not actually taking anybody to task here.
But
you know, we have the odd game against Everton.
The mighty Arsenal just beat Wolves 2-1 yesterday with a injury time goal. So that's
the difference is Arsenal's been playing amazing football all season. They can have one off bad game.
Exactly. That's the point that he's not getting it. I'm telling you, he's not getting it, man. He thinks this is just a one game thing and you can lose. It's not win. I'm devastated to have to admit that I don't think Eddie Howe can take this team any farther, man. But but he seems that he can't. It seems that he can't.
Gary, can I ask you a question?
And it looks that way at the minute.
Hold on, Gary, super chat there. House problem. I don't know. I didn't see it. Says thank you, Tony, very much. We got a call on the line though. So
and then Toon Steel, saying cowardly performance, should not accept that. And Queenie is saying we are knackered. That performance.
Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you for help.
Cheers
for helping. Quickly, Doc, because we got a caller waiting, mate.
Sorry, Gary, I'm just going to ask you a question. Historically, when managers come out in press conferences and make statements which are perplexing, which don't reflect reality, that becomes a red flag. I think that's the point where they need to be sacked. And he's coming out with statements which are ridiculous.
I think the problem is, and we've said it, far too many times on this channel, is the fact that Eddie Howe does not ever seem to want to point a finger at anything in particular or anyone in particular. And I think by sometimes being too close to players, as he seems to be, sometimes makes them. You never get the right response from them. When somebody's having a bad day, sometimes you rally around the lads to get you out of jail. Today, name me a player that got above six. If you was to give anybody 6 points, name me one player in a Newcastle shirt that got a 6. Because I can't give you one.
Maley had a very
a 6. Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'll give you that if that's how you really want to win the argument. Okay. We got Sean from County Durham. Sean, how are you, mate? What's your take?
Well, last time I was on, I said about Sunderland, didn't we? I was just petrified to playing them, and I said I could see them doing us. There was no ambition whatsoever from that team today. I feel the plan was to sit back and counter. You should have. We all go on about the form. The form goes out the window. It doesn't matter how rubbish we've been. Today was you get stuck in and you show them that, look, this is what we're here for. There was none of that. It was a counter. And I tell you, to me, I felt Chow was probably our best player and out of it. Miley, he had a decent game. But none of them ran it. Like Tonalis, I think he wasn't in it. But I'll give Nick Volderwater, what a goal, but in the wrong end. But, there was nothing. And I feel Eddie Howe hasn't, like I said, he hasn't got a plan. It's the same crap over and over and over. And today, it proves it. He can't take us any further. He can't.
Yeah.
How many games we've took the lead and we threw it away? And obviously today we haven't, but today I feel, you got to look at Sunderland and they're all happy about it. We're all not, but, you got to look at it. They've recruited well. Have we really, really recruited that well?
Sean,
I feel
one of the questions, do you get frustrated when he doesn't change tactics or he doesn't make substitutions early on? It's all rigid and predictable.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, because he goes for players for like.
Yeah.
And I feel you take a gamble. Yeah. Go for a gamble.
He took Walter Mardo off. He should have kept him on and put Wissa with him alongside him. You're chasing a goal.
Yeah, you should have went Wissa and Nick up front. Go for it.
Exactly.
Back in the day, you used to have Bellamy, Shearer. Nah, but I just don't think. Like I said, I think he's been found out. I said that last time I was on the show. I feel he's been found out. Yes, he's a good English manager, but I feel he's took us as far he can take. And I feel and I'll be honest, we've all seen in the past when managers are sacked, players start to play. And them players will play because they won't want to be sold in the January window.
My only problem is I don't know who's coming in to save this. When you guys something to say to County Durham, fella?
No, I think on today's performance, especially Eddie's performance.
Just on today, so not the whole season.
Did it? Not the whole season, no.
So why would you not challenge a fan that tells you that he wants the manager sacked over one game? That's
because he's entirely entitled to that opinion.
Over one game, you wouldn't challenge him. Well, that's weird, man. Okay, Gary, sorry, go on.
Sean, while you're on the phone, because I want to put this. I mean, this is absolutely perfect what Alan Thompson's put in the chat here. During the game, we have not won 1 point from a losing position this season, right? Not one. So what I'm saying is, even though we've spent all this money, even though we've got a better bench now than we had to start with, because it's like for like, as you've suggested, buddy, we're not changing anything up. We're not going for any risk taking or anything like that. Eddie Howe obviously still thinks and believes in his heart of hearts that going like for like and not changing it up and sticking with the same formation is going to get him out of jail. At this present moment in time, it's just digging him a deeper hole, mate.
I agree. But I think if you're gonna go for players, if you're losing, just go for the juggler. Just go for it. What's the point? You're already getting beat anyway. Even if you go for it, you're getting beat. What you're losing? Nothing.
No, exactly. But, I've thrown my centre halves up before now.
I like.
with all due respect, say that's a natural way just to go out there and get the game when you're losing, trying to go get the score. But man, the position from the get go was to defend. And I'm never going to be a fan of that. I'm always going to say that that's your posture for from the kickoff, then you are a knackered. Because I mean,
I remember. Sorry.
Go on, mate.
I remember when he first came in, Eddie Howe. He said he wants to bring back the Keegan times, the entertainment.
What?
And I understand, you know.
But tonight, Keegan after tonight, man. Keegan is prime Pep Guardiola after watching that.
Sean, before you go, a quick question: did you see any passion? Did you see any crunch?
Oh,
no, I seen no passion, nothing. It was, I didn't even see Eddie Howe barking instructions down there. I didn't even see him shouting at these players. You know what I mean? To move, nothing.
It's crazy as it sounds, Sean. Before we let you go, mate, that's why I'm Eddie Howe out now, because I don't think the players. Yep. I think the players are knackered and they're not going to play for him. Yep. And once that happens, mate, there's no going back. It's like it's like Mighty Wayne trying to convince his second wife to come back. Ain't not coming back, mate. I'm telling you. They're gone, man.
Absolutely.
Sean, thank you very much. Count it down, baby.
You too.
A proper Geordie, man. Win. Proper Geordie, Sean. Anyway, see you later, Sean. Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much indeed. Call us now. Have your say. 0191-916-8864. A lot of people trying to call right now. Call and have your say. Listen, I don't pick people. As soon as the call comes in, I accept. So don't you think that I'm picking people? We got a new caller now, and we can have a conversation with this. So don't be scared of the fans now, man.
Hello, we got a fucking stuff close up there.
Wait, hold on.
Fucking fuck, man.
Hold on, listen.
Just
calm
cut
down.
him off.
Hey, do not curse. I'm gonna give you an opportunity. Listen. I'm gonna give you an opportunity. Do not curse. Be civil. Have your peace, but do not curse. Because we can't have a conversation like that. You know what I'm saying? So. I know you want to have your view out there. Just don't curse, all right? So, what's your name first? Let's meet each other the proper way. What's your name?
We're not gonna lose the Sunderland, man.
What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
I swear to God.
What's your name?
We would die for this team, man.
Mate, what's your name?
We would die for this team, man.
What's your name? I want to know your name.
Sunderland. We are not losing it, Sunderland. Everybody should be.
All right, we're gonna have to end that one. Because he's not talking to me. He's too pissed. He's not having it. So please have a say right now. Call us now. Listen, do not curse. What's the point of cursing, man? We're trying to have a civil conversation. We already tensions are high. No need for that type of behavior. Call in and have your say. The best way you can. Call us now, folks. The number on the screen: 0191-916-8864. We're knackered, just like that last caller. I mean, that's just the bottom line. And you guys don't feel like we lost he's lost the dressing room? Because I mean, they're not playing for him, man.
Well, that's what I said. The players that we expect to really turn up and take it to task, the players that drive us forward, have gone backwards, buddy. That's what I said today. You know, I was looking at that midfield and it was so lax of ideas, movement. It was flat. You know, you're asking for players to actually do, and to be fair, you know, we looked bullied. We looked as though we were bullied completely by that commitment to the cause. I mean, they threw themselves at every challenge, and we backed out of everything. And once you start showing that, and we went further and further into a defensive mode, it was like, they can control it, and they controlled it. They bullied us mentally. They bullied us tactically. They bullied us in the defensive third. They bullied us in the midfield. There wasn't a single area of that pitch, even though, like I said, you know, the lads have said Malik Chow had a half-decent game at the back there. He did. I didn't think our fullbacks really got involved in the game because, again, their two fullbacks are so high up the field of play because of that movement, because of they wanted it that little bit more. And once you've got that mentality, you know, you're playing two players on one virtually every time. And because they just wanted that ball. And unfortunately, we wanted to have space on the ball. And it was only when they become defensive, if you look at the possession side of things, we had more possession in the second half because they were already winning. It didn't matter to them. Come and break us down if you can, because they knew we couldn't.
Yeah. We got another caller in now. Hello, mate. How are you? What's your name?
Hello, this is call from Mr. Will, Mr. Sky. Is it right number?
That was me.
It's Jordy, Dad.
No, it's Jordy Dan.
Oh, it's Jordy
baby,
Dan.
Jordy Dan calling for the first time. Thank you,
Is
mate.
that right, lads?
Why? No, what we mean? Why, man? Why knocking, man? There ain't no why. We're good. We're knocking.
I thought I'd give you the rate just to say you've known me. I've always been Eddie in. I've defended him. I'm not a happy clapper, but I have defended him. But there's no defending that. I'm sorry. It's
no.
I think we've reached the end of the line, as everybody has said. So
you are Eddie Howe out then. You are Eddie Howe out.
I am, unfortunately. Yeah, I think he's. It's not Eddie's fault. I just think he hasn't got that ability to put it to the next stage. It may be experience or what have you, but yeah, I think it's time for us to part ways. Thank you for everything you've done. You know, you've been a fantastic manager, but I think we've got to move on, unfortunately, because that was just terrible. You may have not lost the dressing room, but that was just absolute. It was a disgrace.
Man, Jordan, let me tell you something. You cannot argue that he's not lost the dressing room when it's a derby.
Yeah.
And these players play like that, man. I mean, there's no other reason, man. There's no other reason. There's no other reason. And I just don't think he can get that back, man. He can get that back. And with all due respect, I mean, he has to make decisions, of course, but, you know, you bring in Willock and you take Tonalis out. I'm not saying you got to have players happy or do things for players, because at the end of the day, we call for Eddie Howe to make decisions on his own. But Tonalis got to be looking, man, this ain't you. Who you bringing it for me? Because Willock ain't it. You know, you act like another proper midfielder, you know, is going to come in for me, then I'll shake your hand. But you're not going to sub me out for Joe Willock, man. And, you know,
and Alanga as well. I mean, what the hell? We always seen through our entire game, we're like, oh, man, what are you doing? Like, the amount of times he missed passes or got beat off the ball. And I'm not blaming all on Alanga, but my God, he was terrible. And we'll keep giving him chances and chances. How much more bloody chances does he need? You know what I mean? So, I mean,
So Dan, do you think Eddie has lost the dressing room?
Oh, I do. That's a good question. When I mean, after that performance,
that's my only question.
I mean,
because
if
I in my heart of hearts believed that, then I would be over to the dark side.
Yeah. That's it. I mean,
once you lose the dressing room, that's it.
But let me ask you, what? Look, they play, man. Look at how they play. Why do you attribute that to?
What I'm saying is,
no attitude whatsoever.
If you look, for example, at Gordon's performances this season, Tonalis' performances of late,
as of late,
yeah, and they are both players who we know have ability, lots of ability.
If they don't believe in the manager, then it doesn't matter.
And if the reason for their performances is a lack of belief in what the manager is trying to do, then that is losing the dressing room.
I think you've making out. I think you've put that. You've laid it out pretty well there, Win. You know what I mean? I think. And I think deep down, I think we know that he's lost it. Just don't want it to be true.
Exactly.
I said, 6 weeks ago, if I thought Eddie had lost the dressing room, then I would have said, "Thank you very much for what you've done. Get out the door." I'm still not quite there yet. I think Wednesday is going to be decisive, because right now we are 8 points.
I've thought about it.
Of Champions League.
Man. He's not going to get it, Jordan.
That ain't good enough.
Here's the thing, man. I thought about... Sorry. No, go on, please. It's your show.
No, I was just going to say, the thing is, with this game, though, you should know how important it is. And this one stings the most. You know what I mean? And we just didn't look like we're up for the fight at all for that entire game until we start getting beat. And then again, we start then reacting. It's so reactive. But before then, we're lethargic, we're messy. And I don't know what else you can do. I really don't. Let's just get a fresh manager in and see if that gives with that boost.
Right, we're not good. Jordy Dan, thank you very much for calling, mate.
Yeah,
Jordy. Love it. And
thank
you for being present.
Lovely speaking to you.
Bye. Thank you, buddy.
And you,
buddy. We got more people trying to call in, man. The phone is chocker at the moment, Mighty Wayne. We got a super chat from Benjamin. Spunked how much?
You can't say that word.
Oh, I didn't even know. I didn't know that was a bad word.
What are you doing?
Give me a second, man. We got a caller as well on the line there. So give me just a second. We'll get to you. And if you can turn your TV down so we don't hear ourselves in the feedback. We got super chats here. Benjamin says, how much up the on Ilanga, up the wall on Ilanga? I forgot. That was a bad word. Wynn taught me that last week, man. Man, come on. Hey, Benjamin, you can't get me on that, man. Come away, man. You got to help me out, man. You're American. I don't know them English words. So there you go. We wasted a lot of money on Ilanga. The other super chat, Irish Assassin.
Yeah.
Mighty Win. Yeah.
He had to take 30-odd minutes to decompress a little. Irish has had to take 30 minutes to decompress it. I just watched a Newcastle team that didn't play for the Toon, the badge, or the fans. Derby? No. What Derby?
Yeah, that's criminal.
Tom Howe, also from your native land, is saying Tonalis and Walter Marder playing better for their national teams speaks to the point that Wynn is making, which is, have they given up on Mr.
Well, that's it actually leads to the point we've been making that Eddie Howe is the culprit, in my opinion, at this point. They don't believe it and they don't trust it. We got a new caller here calling us. How are you, mate? Welcome.
Hello, mate.
How are you? What's your name, mate?
Roy G. RG Fox.
RG Fox. RG Fox.
Hey.
What part of the Toon? I know you're from the Toon, so what part of the Toon you calling from?
No, listen, lads, listen. I wasn't totally upset that Sunderland beat with a tear. I'm upset that we've been awful this year, man. We've been awful. In every scenario, from the Premiership to the Champions League, Eddie's made some tough decisions, and if you're gonna play like the deer, like a deep lad on the wing, you're not gonna put a Langer in there where he's not very good at controlling the ball and tackling it to the fullback. You're gonna put Murphy straight in there because he's got experience of that to give her that little give and get. You know what I mean? It's like, is this a basic mistake? That when you watch that game back, lads, you watch that, man. What I'm talking about, it's dreadful what he's doing. It's dreadful what he's trying to make that player do, because Elanga is a shoulder player. He plays on the shoulder, the bloody fullback, and that's his best way he plays. Basic little mistakes like that, they're terrible.
I love your accent, RG. Where are you from, by the way? I know you're Newcastle, but I'm saying
what part? From Northumberland.
You said
I'm from Ashton.
Exactly. I could have pinned that nearly down. I could have pinned you nearly down to the colliery row.
So Ashington, are we saying Ashington? Well, yeah, because the what do you call the Charlton brothers are from there, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So
it's Pitmatic. We tag. People say what Geordies were not. When Northumbrians were paid. It's
Northumbrians, exactly.
Some people say I heard some people saying you're too far from the Toon, man. So you might not be a Geordie, man.
No, he's
too far
from
Well, I support the Geordies, but I'm definitely not a Geordie. I wasn't born on the team, was I?
No,
you're still a Geordie, kid.
No, but in all seriousness now, man. I mean, don't you think that it's over? The thrill is gone, baby. The thrill is gone, man. You got to realize that.
Looking at the end of the day, hey, it was such a shame because I sort of made a change of the day with the passion of the game and all that, but it didn't. It was still quite the slower break and the slower makeup, and the only time we actually changed the game, is when Willett come in and he actually chipped it over the top for a slight change of where we play, and Visanelli got on it, and I says, where's the inventiveness going? What we used to do with Eddie from 2 years ago, slicing the ball or hoying the ball high or whatever. We didn't do that. We seemed very, very, it's quite normal football.
Pedestrian.
Get it out wide and try again. And if you didn't do that, get it back to the back four. We'll go again. We didn't really have any inventiveness anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
yeah,
I mean,
spot on, kid.
So are you
We
in?
did
you know,
on about 60 minutes.
Ali's fans, Alo's fans here. Oh, you know, Alan St. Maximum, you know, bloody Aval playing, you know, in the Paraguayan lad. Oh, not very good, but they did great things for us because they changed it because other teams thought, what the hell are they gonna do?
Are you, RG? Are you in Eddie in or out?
I'd like to see Eddie in, but the way it's gone, I mean, the thing is, if you want to do out better with Newcastle United, you have to get an exceptional manager like Xabi Alonso to take it forward. You're not going to get that at the minute.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's my problem.
Well, Xabi Alonso might be available.
No, that's my. That's just because he lost one.
It's not saying on a wheel at the minute. They win, but hey, maybe it's Piff. I was thinking run that corner like.
Yeah, it's criminal.
I don't know which corner they're thinking around, but I'm pretty sure that RG started thinking.
RG, mate, thank you for calling us, brother. Appreciate you. And call us again, okay?
Irish is in there again.
Have a grand New Year and Christmas.
Thank you,
man. And you, kid, and you. Irish Assassin, honestly, looks like the players don't want to play for the manager. They've either lost faith with his tactics or lack of them, and the team setup. Yeah. Can't disagree at the minute.
It's just criminal at the moment, man. I mean, I don't know where to
Eddie
go.
out now. Fuck Eddie out now.
Hey, are you the same number? Do you call and keep calling? Hey, man, what's your name?
Eddie out now.
What's your name?
Eddie out now.
Is that your name?
just knock him off.
Yeah.
Man, come on. You must be from Biker, man. You must be from Biker. But
that's a bit of a generalization.
But that's what you do. When I went there, you're like, stay away from Biker. Then you generalized plenty enough when I was there.
No matter what Baker.
Chris, can I ask you a question? Chris,
yeah,
you've always been on the fence. Why Eddie out for you today? What's the reason?
Because to me, he's lost the dressing room, and there's no going back from that. I mean, simply, he cannot convince these players any longer. I mean, I've been convinced for a minute now that I feel like the players play when they want to, which is the big games, when it's good for them, when it's good for when they're motivated, basically. Champions League games, big games against big teams in the Premier League. But other than that, they just don't. They're not motivated. And listen, and this doesn't necessarily mean that they don't believe in him as a person, or think he's a bad person, or think he should be sent, sacked. But I think that it's come to the fact that I feel the players.
Is that the phone on the station?
Hello, how are you?
Hello?
What's your name?
It's Fred Smith. I'm putting up with the football. Okay.
What's your name?
Fred Smith.
Fred Smith. Oh, Fred Smith. Can you turn the TV down for a second? Can you turn the TV down for a second? Because we keep hearing ourselves.
What I've got to say about the day about the match.
Yeah.
We've got to get rid of this bloody manager, or my name is no longer Fred Smith.
Okay. All right, man. Well, listen.
Okay. So that's what I've got to say.
All right,
it's
cheers,
bloody
man.
horrible, that bloody match today.
Yeah.
Get back to me. Okay?
It was.
Cheers, Fred.
Call us when you simmer down, man. Call us when you simmer down, all right? But Fred Smith, Eddie Howe out. Okay.
Yeah.
Cheers. Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good day, mate. We'll say Fred Smith. It meant a lot of people having a pint.
The theme of the day, even held Cesar's in. I have always been Eddie in. I also said 2 months ago that December was house telling time. And this match was the final straw. Xabi Alonso for me.
Did you do Irish's super chat there?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was trying to finish my point there. I think the players turn up when they just turn up. They want to. And again, I don't think the players think he's a bad guy, so get him sacked or anything like that. I just think that whatever he's telling them, they're not convinced. And it could be training style. It could be that they're not bothered. It could be that they're just it's just simply not working. It's simply not working, and I don't see it. I don't see it being turned around. Yeah, go ahead, Gary. We got a call.
Yeah, I know. Just a quicker. I think the biggest concern for me is depth of squad has always been a question mark, and we've always given Eddie a little bit of leeway because he was simply trying to recreate a Stevie Brucey side to make us better. And he's done that to a degree. And that's why I think it's always been easier to give Eddie a bit of a time and a chance to sort out the team that he wants to bring in. And we've done that. These are all Eddie's players now. There's nobody really that you can point a finger at. Willett coming off the bench, Murphy, whatever, but there's no change. Like I said, if you've got somebody in a managerial role where you're bringing in players that you know can do something. You know, we've always said Harvey Barnes can play. You know, he's more of an impact sub. And again, in this system, and I can't remember who it was in the chat, so apologies. You're absolutely bang on. You singled out Anthony Gordon for not being able to take a player on and do something. When have we seen any of our wingers that we've brought into this side actually look like that good that they can beat a defender on their own skillfully? They beat them with pace, but when it comes to the final third, they've got no distribution with the ball. They don't seem to be able to know what to do with the ball once they've done what they're supposed to do. When it comes to skill, they've got no skill. There is no skillful player within this squad as a winger to get close to the forward line to actually create with them. So Voltemada, and again, it doesn't matter whether you had whoever up front, Haaland or ever, they would still have a problem in a Newcastle colour simply because of the way Eddie plays. When you've got such a disjointed forward line where there isn't enough skill level to beat a player for one, not enough skill player to push a full-back back into his own area. And if you look at the Sunderland lads today, they did that to Lewis Hall. They didn't do it so much to Tino because they concentrated heavily on the left-hand side. And it stopped Lewis Hall projecting forward, which is one of our get out of jail cards, because that supports, that supports Gordon's tact. Because Gordon only looks good when Lewis Hall is taking players away from him. When Gordon's actually on his own 1v1, you very rarely see Anthony Gordon beat a player 1v1. And it's exactly the same on the right-hand side with Alanga. Alanga hasn't got the skill set to go and beat a player 1v1. He's got the pace, but when they sit back, there's no pace to run into. Today, it was more of, like I say, the counter-attacking system, and it didn't work because he didn't sit on the last man. If you're going to do that, then you need movement. You need him to go more in Voltemada's angle and Voltemada to drop off, and maybe Lewis Morley to go out right-hand side. But today, we all stuck to the task that Eddie Howe has set out, and the plan failed absolutely miserable, flat on its face.
Gary, just to add, sorry, Chris, just to add, like a lot of the successful teams is movement off the ball, and I haven't seen, like, our players are very rigid. Do you see movement off the ball where they create pockets of space where people can drive into? It's very much kind of get the ball to the wingers, run down the wing, and try and cross the ball. And if you're the opposition, it's very easy to defend against that. So the creativity there's no creativity, there's no movement off the ball, which is the issue. And then the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing, expecting a different outcome. Absolutely. You have to adapt, you have to be flexible. Why not go for 4-2-3-1, change the formation, shuffle it about, because it's not working.
Yeah. Paul from Pompey calling right now. Paul, welcome, mate. Thank you for waiting. How are you?
Hi guys. Yeah, well, I'm not great, if I'm honest. That was so lackluster, embarrassing, and downright shocking, to be honest. I cannot believe.
Perfect summation.
That those players. I can't believe they put out that much. They didn't put that any effort in. There was Sunderland just wanted more.
No,
absolutely.
Sunderland wanted it more. There was no fight. There was no desire. There was no passion. It was awful. We didn't even create a chance. There wasn't even one chance the whole game. It was embarrassing.
It was.
And for me, I was on the fence with Eddie Howe, but something's got to change. He's got to go. He's got to go. That's you cannot put that out as a acceptable result in the derby like that. To me,
forget the result.
Awful.
It wasn't an acceptable performance.
There you go.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
There you go.
But
you summed it up beautifully in your first line. Lackluster. What was it you said? Lackluster. Three adjectives. Embarrassing. Yep.
Everything all in one.
perfection in terms of detail of what happened there today.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
But that's not acceptable, Win, is it? That is not acceptable.
And unacceptable as well. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you know.
So are you going over to the dark side as well now, Win?
Not quite yet. Not quite yet.
He will be the last one, of course, going down with the ship.
I'll
be the weird one.
I'll be falling on my sword.
Maybe, mate.
Quicker than I thought I might be.
even if it's your best mates, at some point when the boat's sinking, you just gotta start swimming, mate. You just gotta start swimming.
No.
So,
I put my line in the sand a long time ago.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's Christmas, almost Christmas time.
Yeah,
almost Christmas time.
There's still plenty of points to be had, and
more
importantly, there's a cup final to be
There's something wrong.
He just waited for. He has nothing to back Eddie Howe on. He's just basically hoping for something good to happen. A 10-win.
Something is awry in Denmark, without a doubt.
Paul, thank you for calling us, man. Appreciate you supporting the channel and, of course, participating. Right, call us again, mate. Thank you very much, Paul from Pompey there.
We've got half match with a 20 North Korean kroner, as Chris would say.
That's it one time, man.
Not feeling very sports washed at the minute.
No,
and then we've got Irish Assassin back in again, God bless him, with never officially said Eddie out. Like Gary, I wanted to listen to the post-match. And then the usual drawl, no passion, usual excuses. Eddie has reached his limit. So does that mean you are now Eddie out, Irish?
Oh, yeah, he certainly is.
Finally.
Thank you very much for doing that for the Super Chat, mates. We'll try to get a few calls, one or two more coming in. I know there's a number trying to call, man. He's been unlucky because every time he calls, there's somebody on there, man. But we'll give you an opportunity to keep calling. And but last, guys, give me where do we go from here? Your last thoughts?
We'll keep going. We'll keep going as long as that calling in.
No, we got big fresh Friday, man. We got kids. Me and Gary got kids, man. You ain't got nobody. You can go into your sorrow.
Well, I'll keep going without the phone.
Last thoughts, Wayne. What you got to say? Give Eddie Howe. If you're looking at Eddie Howe right now, right Howe's in front of you. I'm gonna mute that because I can hear myself, man. So I gotta be. You're looking at Eddie Howe right in front of you. He is right there. What do you say to him in the secret conversation? Because I know, secret conversation. You're gonna tell him you love him. We want to take him on a date.
Secret conversation. I'm gonna say, Eddie, mate, I've stood by you for all this time, under fire, head above the parapet, sticking up for you because of what you've done for this club. What's going wrong? Can you fix it? Because if you can't, thanks for the memories.
Well, what does that mean, man? You ain't saying nothing.
Listen, I've said a million times.
If I'm sitting in front of Eddie Howe, I'll tell him thank you for what you've done, man. But you haven't said anything. What you on about, man?
It's Lewis again.
Lewis,
he has another 20 North Korean krona.
Appreciate it. You keep on sending that North Korean krona, buddy. Thank you very much. Lewis from Newcastle. Oh, Lewis, what naga, man.
I know. I'm million words can describe. I'm not going to say on TV, online and that, but obviously, as you know why.
Yeah.
But I'm just so annoyed, and I'm annoyed with myself as well, because guess what happened? After the game, I tried to hit the wall with a bottle of pop and then hit me TV. My TV's broke.
Listen, I almost did. I'm not gonna lie, I almost did that, but then I thought, and like, man, Eddie Howe ain't gonna fix this screen, so I just withheld. But you gotta be cool, calm, and collected,
so Lewis, you were on the fence. Where are you now? Because it was predicted, by the way, get beat off the Mackhams, and all of a sudden the Eddie Outers will be out in their droves.
Well,
are you there yet, Lewis?
I'm getting to that point now.
I just get to that point, bit like me.
I have to be new. Because I have to be neutral. Because I do work for the club and that.
Yeah, you can be sacked. Exactly.
Well,
you never know.
that should have no bearing on your personal.
You know, you say that about
opinions.
corporations nowadays. You never know.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm being. But
we know
it's
your
annoying
sentiments,
now.
man. What do you think about before you
people-
go? What do you think about the referee? You're the referee.
He actually had a decent game.
There you go. Had you know, he's
you go.
more a referee
Well, if Lewis
analysis.
is not blaming the referee, then there is something definitely
There's
wrong
something
with
bad.
Denmark.
Then we are knackered, man. By the way, there's a lot of seagulls flocking around the chat. You know, make sure you just do this, shh, 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 and they'll fly away. So you know, exactly. Go to Brighton, man. Come on, man.
But actually, here's the thing.
I think we should have a penalty at the end.
Because you're on about the seagulls flocking around. We've got Lee Stevenson here. I'm a Sunderland fan, and I'm not trolling. He's done great things. 2 Champions League qualifications, first League Cup in 70 years. Come on, man, don't pull the trigger. Now, that could be classed as a troll because they want us to keep him.
Exactly. That's exactly what you were saying, by the way, as well. So I don't know what you're laughing about. But Lewis, thank you for calling. Go on, finish your point. Sorry.
No problem. I see you later. Cheers, guys.
Okay, mate. Thank you.
All
very
right,
much.
okay, mate.
It's appreciated, mate.
See you, bye.
That was the one and only Lewis, Newcastle fan. Hey, Gary, what's your just where do we go from here?
I think you know he's literally on the edge of that parapet now for me. He's one step in and one step out. And if he loses on Wednesday, if he manages to keep hold of it, then fair play. But if he loses on Wednesday, I think that is it. I think the door will be wide open for a massive boot. Now, we've already heard the so-called CEO now come on board and say, you know, we want to be the biggest club in the world. Well, the first place you start is on the football field. And it very much looks like, you know, when you start losing, as it looks like at the minute, there's a lot of fans jump from whether it's on the fence to the dark side or not. There seems to be a lot of fans now calling for Eddie to be gone. And like I said, I don't want to see anybody sacked, but I don't support Eddie Howe. I support Newcastle United, and I want to see what's best for Newcastle United. And like I say, you have to start that on the grass. And if he can't produce that, and like you know, for me, this isn't the biggest game of the season, but it's the biggest game for the North East, and it's about putting passion in front of everything else. And today, the lads were completely devoid of any passion towards this game, and that to me speaks volumes for any player going onto that field without the coach being able to put that motivation in them. There should have been reams and reams of motivational speeches on the wall. You know, we all saw previously, you know, Wallace and all that, and people can take the mickey out of it. But that's what drives you forward, isn't it? That motivational speech. And it just seems as though sometimes when it comes to that game, Eddie just can't get that speech across. He certainly doesn't seem to get a motivation.
Irish is back in. This is win post-match. Usual drawl, no passion, usual excuses. Winner has reached his limits.
There you
the
go.
fairy tale isn't happening, Wayne. Stop the madness.
We did put up a poll because of the chat went us to put that poll. The chat also said it looked like Al Capone right now. So, you know, I do see a little bit of a resemblance. But
that's not a violin.
There you go. Are you in or out? The results are, ladies and gents, ooh, drum roll. I mean, Eddie out 67%. So that's even higher now. So there's no going back for Eddie.
First time ever.
Eddie in 33%. And that's Mighty Wins 10 accounts already.
I'm not even on. I haven't even had a vote in that.
So,
but that's
you know,
Eddie in still.
I mean, it's unbelievable. That's the poll. Doc, last comments on the game.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, just
a little bit.
Okay, gutless, clip that, Chris, gutless, spineless, and so just on a serious note, very passionate. I think we as fans are showing more passion than Eddie does in his...
Can you guys hear that?
A little bit. You can hear a little bit.
Sorry?
You're very low, mate.
You're
low.
You're extreme.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Well,
you're very loud.
Just finish your point. I don't think we're going to fix it by now.
So I was just saying that it's time to thank Eddie and move on. The plane is about to crash, and we need to. It's now, emergency stations. If we can still save the season.
Oof.
The plane is about to crash, I think you said.
Yeah, there you go. Boki,
we need a new pilot.
Oh. We will be live tomorrow, folks, Undisputed Show. I will be on the Premier League Fenso once again at 3:30 p.m. live. So, or you get the video when it comes out on this channel. Unfortunately, I accepted before knowing the result. So there you go.
Boogie being a tad more.
Wait until tomorrow before deciding the in-out context.
Wait till the dust is settled.
We shall see. To all the callers, thank you very much for calling. To even the drunker, knackered ones, just sober up and call us again. You know what I mean? We always give out opportunities here, yeah, my final say is, unfortunately, I don't think he can take us any farther. I think he's lost the dressing room, and there's no going back from that. He cannot convince them. The worst part is, if you thought he was a bad guy, and he was a numpty, then he can just stop being a numpty, and then he can convince you again. But the fact of the matter is,
if you thought that he was a numpty,
nobody,
nothing he's done today would change your mind.
Nobody. He's not even understanding me. He's not understanding the point. What I'm saying is, the players. If the players lost belief, saying this guy's a numpty, a bad guy, he's not a good guy, blah blah. All you gotta do is just start being a good guy, get on the players' side, and get the players back again. Unfortunately, right now, they believe he's a good guy, but they're not even bothered. They don't believe him. They don't play for him, and you cannot go back from that, man. You cannot go back from that. You're not if you want to keep players happy based on playing them, because he changes all the time. You can't. You're gonna have to decide who you play, who you don't. And tonight, those mistakes playing those players like Ilanga and Gordon, it just didn't work. It didn't work really bad. So. Unfortunately, I just don't. And also, I don't think the players believe that the best players play, because they don't. And once again, Harvey Barnes, what else does he have to do? What else does he have to do to be guaranteed a spot, more or less? Without really guaranteeing anything in football, not much. So I don't think he can take us any far. But we'll be live again, Undisputed, of course, early 11 a.m. UK, and of course the late night show, early night show, and the late night show back to back, of course, tomorrow night. So we'll see what Boki's got to say. We'll see what Roy's got to say. A lot of people. So join us, folks. Thank you very much to all the super chats. Can't get to all the messages. You might see Christina, maybe. Is she a happy clubber still? Is she a happy clubber still? I don't know. I never know. But we shall be back again. You might need some backup, because Wayne is utterly knackered.
I am on the ropes, folks, but we're still throwing punches.
Win is on an IV right now. He is absolutely
Justina
knackered.
gets in and gets Chris back on the ropes again.
Listen, we shall see. Thank folks. See you later. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you all.
Ciao. Away the lads.